Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to get my review of Royal Rumble 1993. Starting off the evening, we'll go to our first match of the night. It is the Beverly Brothers versus the Steiner Brothers. I thought this was a good opening matchup for Royal Rumble 1993. Back and forth matchup between the Beverly Brothers and the Steiner Brothers, with the Steiner Brothers keeping the pace in the match. Scott hits a double arm powerbomb, and then Scott ultimately hits a Frankensteiner, pins for the 3. And your winners of the match are the Steiner Brothers. Hats off to the Steiner Brothers for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It is Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels. I thought this was a good match. Back and forth matchup between Jannetty and Michaels, with Shawn keeping the pace of the match. Jannetty hits a suplex on Shawn, sending him out of the ring. Jannetty then hits a power slam on Shawn. Jannetty also then hits a DDT on Shawn for a near fall. Jannetty then hits a super kick on Shawn for a near fall. Shawn then gets up, goes to hit Jannetty, but instead hits the referee. Sherry then goes to hit Shawn, but missed and hit Marty Jannetty. Shawn then hits a super kick on Marty Jannetty, pins him for the 3, and your winner of the match, and at that time, still WWE Intercontinental Champion, is Shawn Michaels. Hats off to Shawn Michaels for getting the win in that matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is Bam Bam Bigelow versus Boss Man. I thought it was a good match. Back and forth matchup between Bigelow and Boss Man, with Bigelow keeping the pace of the match. But Bigelow ultimately hits his signature diving headbutt off the top rope on Boss Man, pins him for the 3, and your winner of the match is Bam Bam Bigelow. Hats off to Bam Bam Bigelow for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is for the WWE Championship. It is Razor Ramon versus Bret Hart. I thought it was a great match. Back and forth matchup between Ramon and Hart. Razor and Hart both exchanged in the middle of the ring, but Hart was keeping the pace of the match. Hart then applies a figure 4 leg lock on Razor Ramon, but Razor breaks the hold. Razor then hits a fallaway slam on Bret, but Hart ultimately applies a sharpshooter on Razor Ramon, and your winner of the match is Bret Hart. Hats off to Bret Hart for getting the win in that matchup. Moving on from that, Bobby Heenan introduces the narcissist Lex Luger. Like I stated many times before, man, that was Lex Luger's best gimmick of all time, the narcissist. I thought it was a great gimmick. I wish it would have lasted a lot longer than what it did. But I still believe till this day that the narcissist Lex Luger was his best character of all time. It was just absolutely awesome. And honestly, for what it's worth, I mean, I'm not saying Lex Luger wasn't a great wrestler or anything else like that, but the character itself, with him being the narcissist, it just worked. You know, he had the look, he had the gimmick, and a lot of people love to hate Lex Luger, and some people love Lex Luger, but he pulled off that narcissist gimmick very, very well. So it was cool to see Bobby Heenan introducing the narcissist Lex Luger at the Royal Rumble 1993. Moving on from that, though, we go into our main event of the Royal Rumble 1993, and it's actually the Royal Rumble match. The match itself was a really good matchup. Entrant number 1 was Ric Flair. Entrant number 2 was Bob Backlund. Like I stated earlier, it was a really good matchup. Yokozuna and Randy Savage were the last 2 competitors in the ring, and Yokozuna gets the win by eliminating Macho Man Randy Savage. Couple things I'm going to say about Royal Rumble 1993, man. Number 1, it wasn't the best Royal Rumble, in my honest opinion. I mean, the Razor Ramon Bret Hart match was probably the best match on this card. It was a really, really good matchup. Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels. It was a decent match. It really was. But I feel like Shawn was trying to do his best to carry Jannetty in that matchup. Some people may disagree, but obviously Shawn's the better wrestler out of the 2. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Boss Man. Just lackadaisical, man. In my honest opinion, I'm a big Bam Bam Bigelow fan, and I feel like it was really lackadaisical. Kind of like a glorified squash match for Bigelow. But all in all, it was a decent Royal Rumble, man. If I had to give it a rating from 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 5 at best. But this is my review of the Royal Rumble 1993. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.